Good afternoon, everyone. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived by those present, and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. Good afternoon to everyone in the land of Zoom. Welcome to the Board of Health virtual meeting on Thursday, January 27th, scheduled for 4 p.m. My name is Thomas Corey. Present with me via Zoom is Michael Coughlin, Dr. Stephen Gagliardi, and Tess Curran, our agent of the board. We are not in the City Council hearing chambers. All are participating remotely from locations in the known universe. Tess, if you'll please call the roll.
Thomas Corey,
Present.
Michael Coughlin,
Present.
Stephen Gagliardi.
Present.
Okay, the next item is the approval of the minutes from the health meeting on December 16th, 2021. Are there any additions, deletions, or corrections to be made to the minutes of the meeting as printed?
No.
No, can we have a motion to accept and second?
Move to accept. Second.
Tess, can we have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes?
Michael Coughlin,
Yes.
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
Okay, next we have a discussion regarding the Massachusetts Rental Voucher Program inspection and reinspection fees. Faust Fiore is with us, the minimum housing director. Faust was with us last month or the month before discussing this. Faust, any more information that we should have before we go further?
Only that I'm starting to enjoy these meetings and I like to attend every meeting, even if I don't have any business before the board, if that's okay.
Of course, the public is always welcome.
I know you should have, I mean, you should have the cover letter, as it were, and
Yes.
and of course, these would be put on letterhead. These are just drafts, but that's really, it's as simple as that. The very common fee around the state, and it is a little bit outside, the mission of minimum housing. We generally are going to be inspecting dwellings where there are residents, there are occupants. This is something that if they were to go to some, outside a contractor to do this, they would pay a similar fee. We've seen fees a little higher, but not much higher. Seems to be the standard fees. So the point of this is, well, one note, in case, maybe I'm answering a question no one has, but the reinspection fee is instituted commonly because what happens many times is people will, so normally when we do an inspection, the tenant calls with a complaint, and so we go look for violations. Here's one where the landlord, the property owner, has us come in and take a look. Is it okay? Is the voucher program going to allow this apartment? And if it fails, then we have to go back in order to give them, a clean bill of health. And there are times when, even after they've been told what the deficiencies are, we've gone back a third time. We feel that this is, and the purpose of this, really, the reinspection, is to incentivize them to get it once they realize what the violations are, to actually correct them. So it disincentivizes them just taking a shot. And we've had actual landlords say, "Well, I didn't think it was going to pass, but I just thought I'd take a shot." So there's two things involved, because the mayor has asked all departments to review their fees. This is we'll get to that later, but this is a new fee, but again, very common across the state. And these particular dollar amounts are pretty much the center of it. I don't think I've seen too many lower than that, but I've seen a few that are a little bit higher. And that's the purpose of all of this. It's outside the normal scope of our work, and that's why communities commonly charge this fee.
Okay,
And I do just want to make a note, the documents that Faust had provided are just a reference as to what the residents will be receiving if they do, request um, an inspection, that they would fill out that form, and then in minimum housing would then move based on that. So if the board were to accept and vote to, enact these fees, you wouldn't be voting on these documents. You'd simply be voting on the fee structure, and the documents that Faust provided are a reference point for you and to showcase what the residents will be receiving.
And just to be
Okay.
clear, it's not the residents. It's the property owner.
I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you, Faust.
okay, gentlemen, what's your feelings? I'm okay with this.
Is there anything that stops a tenant from frivolously sending in these requests and making the landlord pay $100 and $50 for reinspection?
Well, no, again, this isn't, it's my understanding, this is not the tenant. This is an empty apartment. Would I be wrong, Faust? This is an empty
Well,
apartment.
You wouldn't be wrong, but that is a pertinent question, because there are times when we do have a tenant request this. They're very anxious to get into a place, and they have found this apartment, and they'll call us to come do this. It's not how it works. So we, of course, verify. It's very easy to verify who an owner is. Well, be honest with you, the reason we know they're tenants because they say they're tenants, but we do ask that question. Say, are you,
Okay.
because there are tenants that call, say, are you the owner of the properties? No, I'm trying to move in. Say, well, the owner has to call. And then by the same token, there are a couple of owners we've run into that don't understand the program and have the tenant call, just they don't realize they're the ones that have to call. But we do verify who the owner is, sure.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Do we want to move on this today?
Okay with it. Looks okay to me.
We will need a motion in a second.
Motion to accept. Second.
Tess, can we have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes?
Michael Coughlin,
Yes.
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
Okay. Faust, you're all set.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next, we have a discussion regarding the possible increase to licensing fees. Everyone received I received 3 sheets.
Jeremy,
want-
tell me, I only have 2.
You only have 2. I have one that says, with no heading, one that says additional fees requested, and a third sheet that says recommended fee increases. I have one with dumpster hauler fees, tobacco, a second sheet with additional fees, Title
Oh, I'm sorry,
5.
that's not us. That's why I don't have it.
Oh, okay, that's not you. Which ones are you?
Recommended fee increases. I should have labeled it better. My apologies. And so tobacco, for instance, would be tobacco control. That's not something that's us.
Okay.
So the additional fees requested and recommended fee increases. Again, I
Okay.
apologize. I should have been
All
more
right.
careful with that.
Let's go over those real quick then. Under the additional fees requested, let's handle that sheet first. That's.
All right,
Title-
could I give
Yes.
a note on that? And again,
Yes.
I apologize. So this was given to me by Roger Cassavant,
Yes,
who is a Title V inspector. He has left, he's not a sanitation inspector anymore, so with DCM, but until we can train a new one, and we've struggled mightily, COVID's part of the reason, to get a new Title V inspector, he's still doing them. And so he gave me this list. After I sent this in, I went back over it with him, just so I could at least sound like I know what I'm talking about. And when he reviewed them, he said to me that the fourth item, Title V soil witness and Title V inspection report review, are either covered elsewhere in our fees or not part of the process here. So I just ask you to sort of strike those from consideration.
which one again? The Title V inspection report review?
Yes, and the Title V soil witness.
Okay,
The Title V soil witness is really it's really covered by the repeat, the first inspection.
okay.
So the first inspection is, so for instance, it'll be a soil evaluation and a bottom inspection.
Mhm.
That's already covered.
Okay,
So he just didn't realize it. When he was comparing different communities, they have different verbiage. And when he saw it again, he realized it's something there is redundant.
okay. Now, on my sheet, I have Westport listed, Dartmouth listed. I don't have a column for Fall River.
Right.
Because we don't have these fees at all.
So we don't
These are
have,
fees.
oh, okay, these are brand new fees.
Yeah, these are fee, I gotta work on my titling skills. These are fees that other communities charge that Fall River has never charged.
Okay,
But we do have some Title V fees.
Right, so that's why the fourth one, Title V soil witness, that's redundant to a fee we already have. And he just didn't realize it when he gave me this list.
Yeah, see, this would be easier to understand if we did have some information about what fees we do charge for Title
yeah,
V.
because that was my next question. We don't have a list of the current fees.
So I would like to
My mistake, I'll give them to you.
review this again when we have that other information.
Yeah, all right, again, I apologize. This was sort of just, I didn't ask him for these fees. I didn't know they existed. He gave them to me and I should have been better prepared. I will get you that information.
Okay.
I don't know that information. Roger knows it, but I'll get all that for you.
So we're going, the additional fees requested page is going to be tabled to the next meeting. Are we all in agreement?
This whole,
Yes.
so this whole graph is going to be tabled.
Yeah,
All 3 pages or just this one?
Right, that's what I'm trying to figure out too.
well, on the recommended fee increases, we do have Fall River's fees.
Mhm.
So that's essentially a separate, is that the one you prepared, Faust?
Yes,
Okay.
And so each of these, again, these fees, they do have to be voted on individually. So even with this table, we would have to vote, for example, on, the indoor pool versus the outdoor pool. So if the board, if you would like to vote on some fees, we can do that today, or you could do that today, or if you'd rather us take it back and restructure the formatting to make it a little bit more digestible, then we could do that, and then you could again vote on them all individually next time, or some of them today.
Well, I'm in favor of tabling the additional fees that Faust is just presented, because we don't have all the information. But I think we can look at the others.
all right, and I'll come back to you with the same format on these additional fees. Once I learn what those are, what the present fees are, I'll give you the same format as this. So this format on the recommended fee increases is sufficient. I don't want to screw up twice.
No, I think we need
Yeah.
a column that says current fees
Okay,
and a column that says recommended fees.
okay.
Okay, are we, gentlemen, we in agreement with that? We need a roll call on that?
That sounds reasonable.
Mike?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so we'll just table that for now. Okay. Next page, I got the one that says recommended fee increases. The top line reads late filing fee, permit renewal, and then it has the various cities and towns.
All right, so that would be for any permit.
Okay, so we want to go from 60 to 100.
Yes,
Okay,
That's a big jump.
That's a late fee on top of the fee for the permit itself, right?
yeah.
correct. I thought, in talking to the sanitation inspector, the hope is that There just wouldn't be so many late ones. But that particular dollar amount is not necessarily the magic answer to it.
Yes, no, maybe?
It's a 70% increase. It's impressive. But is it a
Well-
big problem with?
Well, that's it is a big problem. So this is not to say that going from 60 to 100 solves the problem. It's not to say a lower number might not solve the problem, but this is a very high percentage of people are just late in applying for a renewal. There may be a number in between that, not to overkill it, but just to ratchet it up a little bit and see if it improves things. That's certainly reasonable.
The whole purpose is to encourage them to, in my own personal experience with the city and fees and licenses, the mail comes out early enough. You always get more than 30 days before you have to renew something.
Is the late fee posted on the notice?
Yes.
All right, then. It is what it is.
Okay. So we do these individually, line by line?
That's correct.
Okay, do we have a motion and a second for the first line, late filling fee permit renewal?
Motion to accept.
Second,
Do we have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes?
Michael Coughlin,
yes,
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
Next item, the tanning establishments going from $160 to $180. How many tanning establishments are still left in the city? Do we know?
I think 2.
We're down to 2? Yeah.
Well,
There was
yeah,
a
once
bunch
in a-
years ago. There was a
Right,
bunch.
and it's less popular now. I'm not off by too much when I say 2. I think we were down to 1, and then another establishment reactivated beds that they already had. So
Do
I
they still,
believe right at the point.
are these standalones or are these like, I know the WOW gym used to have one. Is that part of this count?
I cannot tell you if WOW still has one. I
Okay.
know there's another gym, it's the one that's on Pleasant Street, that for instance had them. They haven't used them.
Okay.
What we don't know for sure is this because of COVID, they're very tough to keep clean,
Mhm.
disinfected. So the number may grow afterwards, but I honestly don't think it's going to grow very much because the
Yeah,
trend has been steadily downward.
I know in a conversation with several owners over the years, the insurance was the detrimental factor.
Yeah.
Because every year the insurance would double.
Yeah, and that's liability insurance, right?
Yes, mhm.
They're just not, for health reasons, they're not as popular as they used to be.
Mhm.
So I think the number has fluctuated a little bit, but I think we're at 2 right now.
Okay, so there's not many. So gentlemen, what do you think? From 160 to 180?
that's a small increase, so sure.
Yeah. Now, is that per bed?
It says
Yes.
establishment, it's per bed.
It's yes, it is.
It says establishment.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You know what I think though? I don't know that there's any place right now that has more than 1 bed,
Oh, okay.
but that's fine. First establishment is fine.
Okay,
I mean, it's just,
do we have a motion in a second?
Motion to accept.
Second,
Tess, do we have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes?
Michael Coughlin,
yes,
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
Okay, next item, night soil per truck. Is that per truck load? Or if I have 10
No.
trucks, it's if I got 10 trucks, I pay it 10 times?
yeah,
per
that's
truck?
an annual thing. There's an inspection every year. Just ensures that that has to line up with what the sewage treatment plant sees, for instance. Although all they have to the criterion really is that they're doing business in the city. They don't actually have to haul to our sewage treatment plant, but they have to be each truck has to be registered, for instance, to dump there. And it's an annual, it's just, they have to have a first aid kit. Basically, we have to know about the truck. What you're saying, Tom, we have to know how many trucks you have.
Mhm.
So we inspect each one. Ms. Golden does that. Their license and registration. And so that has to match up. If the sewage treatment plant doesn't have that information, when the truck shows up, if it's not on the record, they can't dump.
Mhm.
So that's how we verify how many trucks for a given company are in the city. Just doing business in the city.
Okay,
That's whether they're just dumping or they're pumping in the city. Whatever they're doing in the city, we have to know how many trucks there are and that they're properly registered. So we can tell one truck from another, you know?
okay. So from 250 to 300? Gentlemen, what's your feeling?
That's fine.
Questions, comments?
And there is a wide range of these, of the amounts of these fees across the communities that are on this chart.
There is, yeah. There is, and you find that a lot. We looked up more fees than this, but there are other fees that we charge that there's no reason for an increase, no justification for an increase. They're not. But when we looked at all the fees, it's a wide variance. So if there's a fee that we're really, already kind of on the high side, we're not presenting that. But you'll find a very wide variance among cities and towns. Yeah. And not just the ones you see.
Dr. Gagliardi, we can't hear you.
I'm just saying you don't want to put an undue extra expense on these businesses when there's a lot of extra expenses going on now, especially a business that's really fuel dependent with the extra costs already. I don't know. We're higher than most communities already.
What is the justification for raising the fee, though?
Well, as I said, we just looked at what different communities are. So we could have actually put maybe 8 different communities on here. You look around. These are either nearby or similar cities, and that's why we chose these. This would put us on the high side, but it wouldn't make us the highest. I mean, Dartmouth is getting $420, and I think Fall River is still competitive with that.
Well, when was the last time we raised any of these fees? I don't have that history, but
I don't know that, but I do know that this kind of a chart was drawn up about 4 or 5 years ago, but not presented. So I think it's been a few years, but I can't tell you exactly how many.
I remember when the purple bags came through, that's when we did the dumpster and hauler fees. Now, how long ago was that? 5 or 6 years?
and you don't recall any fee increases since then?
No.
Okay,
And I
well,
don't remember these fees being brought forward in the last 10 years.
okay.
I had someone in my office search for that. Let me just try and find the dates from the minutes. Some of these fees, well, there was a larger meeting like back in 2006, it looked like, but let me just try and find that date right now.
Well, I remember the dumpster fees on the next page. That was all touched upon when the purple bags came in.
Mhm.
I don't know if saying, "Hey, we're lower than Dartmouth" is very comforting to anyone.
Right.
But we're more than New Bedford and Taunton, which are
More comparable.
comparable towns. Dartmouth doesn't have much of a tax base other than property, but we have a gigantic industrial park in Amazon. So,
I think there was a just, consideration to make our fees more in line, with some of the other communities or some of the comparable cities, from across the board throughout the city, not just the Board of Health fees, like Faust licensing fees and some of the others that come through our department, but across the board throughout all of the departments in the city.
I don't know, this would put us at 300% of Taunton. And triple Taunton and, 50% more than New Bedford. That's not comparable by anyone's. It's a better definition would be significantly higher. 3 times Taunton. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Do we need the money? Is that why we're doing this? And what was the motivation?
Well, as I said, the mayor has asked all departments to review their fees.
Okay.
That's our instructions, and that's what we're doing.
Right. I understand. I missed that. I was probably multitasking at the beginning of the meeting. Apologize.
But if anyone came to look at this and said, "Hey, let's see what New Bedford and Taunton are," and they'd be like, "Hey, you're 3 times Taunton," can anyone explain that? I wouldn't be able to explain that.
And this should be by no means taken as an argument to that, but because there's so much variance among different communities, that happens now. But this is, I'm making recommendations for the numbers speak for themselves. I'm not really arguing for it. If you think it's too high, that's the wishes of the board.
Well, we don't have to take all of these. I mean, this
Right.
makes it
Right.
seems high. Why don't we pass on this?
All right, motion to decline.
Second.
Can we have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes?
Michael Coughlin,
Yes.
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is an indoor pool. We're currently at 300. They want to go to 320. And what does that involve? A once-a-year inspection?
Now, is this
And-
commercial or
Well,
anybody's indoor pool?
that's my next question. These
Well,
are,
these are, you would consider these semi-public pools.
Apartment
So-
complexes, yeah.
Sorry?
Like apartment complexes.
Yeah. Or it could be the YMCA, so they're not like a pool in a park, but they're pools where, a member goes, a member of a condo association goes, guests can go. So they're considered semi-public. They're not like the state pools, for instance. But more than just residents, for instance, in an apartment complex can go to these pools.
and how many of these indoor pools are there really?
I think about 8.
Taking the what was that?
I think it's about 8.
I mean, I'm going to go with the same argument as last time. I mean, we're
Sorry?
already above, we're double Taunton already. We're triple Lowell. And we're already higher than New Bedford.
$300 is a pretty good amount for just one inspection.
Okay,
Yeah,
we got that.
I'm going to motion to decline.
Second.
We have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes?
Michael Coughlin,
Yes.
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
Next, we're on to outdoor pools from 150 to 200.
And those are the same, except, if an apartment building or condo association has it outdoor, same type of pool.
All right, see, there's a big discrepancy between the pools. one's double the other. So I would be more okay with going up on this one because we might be a touch higher than, we'd still be lower than New Bedford, higher than Taunton. So
Is there any, I should know.
What
this.
is the additional? What's the
What else is
additional?
involved? What else is involved?
Yeah, what else is involved?
With a pool?
Yeah,
Indoor versus outdoor.
but what's the difference in the inspection? Pool's a
Right.
pool.
That's what we're asking.
Right, which puzzles me as to why originally, the starting point is so different. So why didn't we ask for it to be 300? Just because that would be a really sharp increase, but if you think it's fair that they both be 300, then I think it's fair too.
I don't think
I mean,
that's.
are there any differences in what has to be maintained in an indoor pool versus an outdoor?
No,
well, you're gonna
Or
rake
just-
more leaves out of the outdoor pool, of course.
Yeah, but I don't think we should, double it. I think the 200 is fine, so I'll motion to accept the 200.
Second.
We have a roll call?
Tom Corey, sorry.
Yes.
Michael Coughlin,
Yes.
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
The next one is a special pool, a hot tub or a wading pool. How many of those do we have?
I don't have one right now. It's just on the list. And
Okay.
we're just trying to keep up,
Okay,
That seems like a reasonable increase. I'll motion to accept.
Second.
do we have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes.
Michael Coughlin,
Yes.
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
Next, we have a hotel motel pool, right?
No, hotel.
Okay, hotels and motels get inspected also? Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. Okay. And what do we inspect at a hotel and a motel?
Oh, things like, fire exits, you see the diagrams that you see the diagram about how to get out in an emergency.
Isn't that fire department or
They also, yes, they also do an inspection.
do they charge also?
I do not know that.
And if they have kitchens, our
That would be the-
inspectors would be out, right?
Absolutely. They
They'd be
would.
covered under those permits already. If they have a pool, they'd already be covered under those permits.
They would.
Well, they would have to pay a separate one for the pool inspection, I would guess.
Well, yeah, separate for the pool, but they'd already be, they'd already have their food licenses for the restaurant side of the building. And if the fire department is doing the fire inspection, is the fire department charging for the fire inspection, I guess?
I don't know that.
I do
I
believe,
don't think they do. Do they?
Probably do.
I don't know. I would have to find that out. I don't know what their fee structure is.
I
for
would
a
be,
business establishment.
I would be in favor of tabling this one pending, what do they inspect?
Okay.
Because the
Alright.
pool is already under one fee, the food license would be under another fee. And if the fire department is inspecting, that would be a third fee they're already paying.
So we've got to try to figure the redundancies.
Yes, please.
Do we have to motion to table?
Motion to table?
Do we have to motion to table?
We already tabled something that we
Yeah.
didn't.
We
vote
didn't,
know.
I don't think we have to motion to table.
I don't want to
We'll-
get a long
we'll fi-
email
we'll-
about it.
We'll find out about it if we do. Next, we have a body art practitioner. From 125 to 150. We have
It seems
licensed,
reasonable.
we have licensed a bunch of those in the last few years.
Yeah, that's fine.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Okay, can we have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes?
Michael Coughlin,
Yes.
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
Next, we have a recreational day camp.
It's a big
from
jump.
That is a big jump, yeah.
I'm not gonna go.
And,
for that.
and what do they get inspected for?
Yeah,
There
Again,
is-
if the fire department is inspecting them, okay, we don't know about the fee there. If they have food services on board, don't they get inspected by the food service people?
they
What
do
are we
it.
what are
And
we
I-
actually inspecting?
Honestly, I don't know the answer to that question. That's, like sanitation inspector
Mhm.
and
The recreational day camp code does require that there be certain number of, counselors to campers and a nurse, to campers. And so there is a lot that goes into the requirements of a camp. And so that is part of the inspection, that they make sure that they're adhering to the recreational day camp guidelines that are very specific and detailed. So there is a lot of nuance that goes into.
That is true, and it is an involved process, but it's still a big jump. We've been getting 60 for all these years, and go to 150 in one spell too. So
I get a
seeing,
Yeah, and-
motion for a-
I'm seeing
motion
Taunton
for
right next
100.
to it at 100, and I'd be comfortable going to 100 like Taunton is already charging. If that's something we can entertain.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We have a motion to set that at $100 per year.
All right, so I'll move that we set that fee, the recreation day camp fee at $100.
Second,
Can we have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes?
Michael Coughlin,
Yes.
Stephen Gagliardi.
yes.
Okay, continuing down on the next page, we have dumpster and hauler fees. We're not touching the dumpster fees, right? We're just the hauler. So as an example, this would be ABC disposal. They pay the permit fee, and then for each of their dumpsters is a $25 fee. Is that correct?
That's correct. So this would just be the hauler. The $25 dumpster fee did seem to be in line with the other communities, and certainly some of these haulers have, a large number of dumpsters.
Mhm.
It seems reasonable.
Okay.
From the small businessman's point of view, every other month, the haulers get more fees from us.
Well, are you concerned that your fees will go up again if we do it?
No matter what we do, the fees are going to go up again, Mike. I have a local one, and it has quadrupled in the last 4 years, okay? And I don't even have a dumpster. I fill up trash bags and put them out on Monday morning. Okay, do we have a feeling yes, no?
Seems to
At
be
the
in line with
150?
everybody else, 150. Motion to accept.
Second.
Can we have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes?
Michael Coughlin.
Yes.
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
The last one is the tobacco licenses.
And we'll table that, Tom.
Okay. Okay, so that concludes the license discussion. Tess, can we have the director's report?
Sure.
thank you,
Tom.
gentlemen and lady.
Thank you, Faust.
So really, I just, again, wanted to just quickly kind of go over some of the data for COVID. So we are fortunately seeing, our case numbers go down slowly. We had been seeing several 100 cases a day. As of the last report the state put out, we were averaging, our daily average incidence was 339 cases a day. Anecdotally, now we're seeing about 130 to 200 every day. So we are, happy that those numbers are going down. We're still continuing our vaccination efforts. So as of the most recent data, we did just hit that 70 percent mark for folks receiving a first dose. So, we are happy about that. But we still have, a lot of work to do, especially in the younger age groups. And we also, do have some work to do in terms of folks getting their boosters. The states just recently started to report that data to us. As of the most recent data, 42.7% of the community has received a booster dose. So we do have to continue to get the message out regarding the importance of boosters. There are benefits, certainly we are seeing the, the rates of folks who are hospitalized, who are boosted are lower than, obviously the unvaccinated, but even the vaccinated. But it also does, help individuals and businesses with the quarantine timeline, as that is shortened, provided you've received a booster within, set period of time. So, so we're just trying to get the message out and having, easily accessible clinics. So we've been holding clinics at the library 2 days a week, and those have been successful. So we're happy about that. We're averaging 30 or 40 folks at those clinics with a mix.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, and it is a mix of, first doses and boosters. Mostly it's about 20 or so boosters, and then the rest are first or second doses. But again, we're really happy with that, and we are seeing a number of young folks go to those library clinics. So we'll be there through February and actually even into March. We're going to be there on Tuesday evenings and Saturdays. And we are planning a number of clinics during school vacation week, both at the library, hopefully at some other local organizations, and even some of the housing authority properties will be on site with clinics during that week to, again, just try and make it easy for folks to get vaccinated. So those are kind of the big, updates, but still really just trying to get out there with outreach workers and others to engage and have conversations. The outreach workers are trained in having these hesitancy conversations. So, we are continuing that effort.
Now, is that 42% of the total population is boosted, or 42% of vaccinated got a boost?
40, I believe it's 42% of the eligible population. So the, the 12 and up.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything of such a nature under new business that could not come up before the agenda was presented?
No.
Did we receive anything in the form of citizens' input?
No.
Then we need to confirm the date for the next meeting. Following our usual procedure would be the fourth Thursday of the month. That would be February 24th. Is that good for everyone?
Sure.
Looks good.
Okay, we'll go with February 24th at 4 o'clock. Can we still continue to Zoom?
I was just going to say, I think we've only got a couple of months left.
Yeah, I think April right now is.
Yeah, they haven't extended it yet. They might, but they haven't yet.
All right, maybe
Well,
by April it'll be warm and we won't have to worry about going outside.
Well, we'll plan for Zoom. We'll plan to Zoom then. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion.
Can we have a roll call?
Thomas Corey,
Yes?
Michael Coughlin,
Yes.
Stephen Gagliardi.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the blizzard.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you, Alex.
Bye-bye.